By the end of this video, you're going to have the templates and all the information that you need to build the best Instagram AI appointment setter possible in 2026. Now, I don't say those claims lightly because this setter that I'm about to show you how to build can listen to voice memos, can scrape the Instagram profile that it's talking to, and adjust and personalize its replies based on all the information it collects. It also handles things such as removing M-dashes and unique AI identifiers inside of its messages, and it has the capability to hand over messages to a human if it doesn't know how to proceed. You're gonna get this template, my prompt frameworks, and the entire walkthrough completely for free, so let's get right into it. Now, first things first, we're gonna need to import the n8n flow, and if you don't already have n8n, go ahead and click the link down below in the description. You can start your free n8n trial. You can try it for free for 14 days. Once you've done that, there's a second link down below in the description, which is going to take you to our free school community where you can get all the templates needed for this video. And the first thing you're going to do is go ahead and click on the n8n template. It's going to take you to this Google Drive file. All you need to do is download this file, go back into n8n. In your overview, click on Create Workflow, click on the three dots, click on Import from File, and select the file you just downloaded. This is going to immediately import this file right here with all the configurations that I've set up for you in the template. The first thing we're going to have to do is configure this flow so that it has access to OpenAI, so that it can transcribe voice memos, analyze the details that we scraped from a user's profile, as well as generate the message. All you need to do for that is click on one of the nodes, click on the credentials dropdown, and click on Create New Credential. We're going to get an API key from OpenAI so that we can actually process our requests. For this, simply go to platform.openai.com/API-keys and you can sign in using the same account that you use for ChatGPT. Once you're on this page, simply go ahead and click on Create a New Secret Key, name the key whatever way you want, and click on Create Secret Key. We're now going to copy out this secret key, go back into n8n, and paste the API key right here. You can name the credentials whatever you want and go ahead and click on Save. Now, if it says connection tested successfully, you've done everything correctly so far. An important thing to note is inside of platform.openai.com, make sure you go to your settings, go to billing, and make sure you have a payment method linked here so that it can actually charge you for the usage. You're going to be charged by token usage, meaning every message you generate costs a certain amount of tokens. Now, in the setup that I've built here, you're going to be way below 1 cent per message using the prompt framework that I've given you. But if you have an extremely big prompt, you may pay up to 1 cent per message, meaning every time this workflow runs, you would pay 1 cent to OpenAI. Realistically, though, it's going to be more like 0.1 to 0.3 cents per message. Now, once you've set up those credentials, simply go to this OpenAI node, select the same credential right here, and then finally go to this node right here and also select the credential that you just created from the dropdown. Now, how does this flow actually work? When a message comes in, we go ahead and check if there's a voice memo inside of the message. If there is, we download that file, we transcribe it using OpenAI, and we return the full message. We then check if there's any details present, meaning if we already scraped the details of the profile. If not, we go ahead and scrape the profile of the lead, and we go ahead and determine if they're an ICP match or not. We then have our prompt values. These are the instructions that we pass to the AI. The AI generates the message. If there's a human handover, it hands it over inside of Manychat, and I'm going to explain that logic later. And if there's no human handover, it's going to format the messages to remove any unique AI identifiers, and then it's going to send the message via Manychat. Now, before we continue configuring this and set up all the API keys and prompt values, we're going to go ahead and sign up to Manychat. Manychat is what we're going to be using to receive and send messages through Instagram, meaning we're going to use their direct Meta API integration, and we're simply going to handle the message receiving and message generating. Now, Manychat also has a free 14-day trial. You can find it in the link down below in the description. Now, once you've signed up to Manychat and you see this page right here and you have your Instagram connected, you're going to go back into the free school community, and inside the template where you got the n8n template, there's a link for the Manychat template. Simply click on that and it's going to open up this page on screen right here, which is going to allow you to import the template. Simply click Save to Manychat and select the Manychat account that you just set up, and you should then have a folder in your automations page called Imported from AI Sales System, where we have the AI Flow YouTube video. Now, it's going to say live, but it's not actually live yet because the only trigger I have set up for this flow is if somebody sends a message using ABCDE, which is what we're going to be using to test this all out later. Now, what actually goes on in this flow? When a message is received, we go ahead and save the message into DM Tracker, which is a tracking tool for Instagram DMs. More on that later. We then go ahead and check if the tag is AI active, and only if that tag is present, we go ahead and reply to the message. This is what's used for the human handover logic, and I'm going to explain all of that later on. We then go ahead and process the messages, meaning we wait after every single message we receive to see if they send another message, and then process all of them at once, send them to n8n, and then n8n handles the remaining process. Now that we have Manychat set up initially, we're going to go ahead and configure some things in n8n so that we can actually connect to Manychat. The first thing we're going to do is go to the Set Keys field in the very beginning of the flow. Click on that, and we're going to need to set up some API keys. Now, the Manychat API key is the first thing we're going to find. For this, go to Manychat, Settings, scroll down to where it says API, and here simply copy out the API key and paste it into this field right here. Next, we're going to go ahead and look at the ICP tag. This is a tag that is added if the person is an ICP match based on the criteria that we're going to define later on. For this, simply go to Tags, go to ICP match, hover over it, and copy out the tag ID. We're going to go back into n8n and paste that here. Next, we're going to find the AI active tag. For this, go back to Manychat, hover over AI active, copy out the tag ID, and paste it in here. And finally, the human handover tag, which is going to be human handover. And we're going to do this. And we're going to do the same thing for this one right here. Now, important to note is if you don't have any of these tags yet, you can simply add them manually. Just click on New Tag, add the tag with the name, copy out the tag ID, and the same principle will apply. Now, there's only one missing element, which is the scrape API key, and this is what we're going to be using to actually scrape the profile information and analyze it. Now, if you don't want to do this step, you can simply take this node right here and disconnect it and connect it up here, meaning we will never scrape the Instagram profile and not use any of that information. Now, in order to adjust how the AI determines if someone is an ICP match or not, simply click on this messenger model node, open up this prompt, and here we have ICP criteria. So don't adjust any of this information right here, but below ICP criteria, you can clarify who exactly is an ICP match for your business or not. And based on that, it will actually output the data. So you can remove this and say, okay, we want men only, for example, if you're doing fitness coaching for men, or we want women only if you're doing fitness coaching for women. Whatever your ICP criteria is, you can add that in here. And based on that, it's going to add the tag or not. If you do want to set up scraping, simply leave it connected like this and go back to the school community where we have a link to a tool called Data Prism. Now, Data Prism actually allows you to scrape public data from Instagram and many other tools, and using the link that I provided, you get 1,000 requests for free. So when you sign up, the first 1,000 Instagram profiles that you scrape are going to be entirely for free. So click the link, sign up to that, and once you're inside your account, simply go to API Keys, click on Create New API Key, name it, click on Create, and copy out the API key. Now simply go back to n8n, go back to the Set Keys field, and paste it into the Scrape API Key section. This has now given our flow the full capability to connect with Manychat, know which tags to add and remove, as well as scrape the profile when needed. We're going to go ahead and save this in case our browser crashes or something. We don't want to lose all of our progress. Now, this is essentially almost set up so that we can start using it inside of Manychat. But before we do that, we're going to want to adjust the AI to our specific use case so that it actually behaves in the way that we want it to. And I've made this incredibly easy. So if you go to the AI setter and click on that, you're going to notice we have a system message. These are the instructions that we give the AI. If you open it up by clicking this little arrow, you will see that this is templatized with set values that are inserted into an overall prompt framework. So there's nothing for you to adjust on this page right here. If we exit out of this, I've neatly combined everything for you guys in a set prompt values field. So if you open this up, you can see that all the different values that are inserted into the AI agent's prompt are in this field right here. And I've made it this way so that it's as easy as possible for you to adjust. Now, we have things such as the agent name, the agent backstory, company name, etc. And all you need to do to adjust this is simply click on this little arrow. And here it's going to show you the exact prompt framework that I'm personally using so that you can adjust it for your own use case. So you would simply adjust the backstory to be your own story, adjust the company name to be your own name, And the same for business description. So here we describe what our business is and what it does. The main key areas here are the response plan instructions and the response rules. Now, the response plan instructions is where you're going to have your script and how the AI should actually respond to messages. Now, if you look at this, I've left my entire prompt framework in here. So all you need to do is read through this and adjust it for your own business. Now, for example, step 1 is reporting qualifications. Step 1.1 is to acknowledge their situation and find a pain point. Step 1.2 is to identify their goal. Step 1.3 is to create the gap from their pain point to their future goal. And then step 2 is actually booking in the call, how to pitch it, etc. So you can simply go ahead and adjust this for your specific use case. Now, the next thing we need to look at is the response rules. Now, here we just have some general rules. For example, always say I, me, or we. We do not speak of a meal in the third person, so you're going to want to adjust this with your own name. There's also a rule in here for how the AI should handle it if somebody suspects that they're talking to AI. In this case, I admit it, and I say, of course, we teach sales with AI. Would you really expect me to sit here myself? But you can adjust it and have it to deflect with humor. So you could say, if asked whether you are an AI, say, no, haha, but that would save me a lot of time, and proceed with the script, right? So you can adjust it in this way, and that will change the behavior of how the AI behaves. Now, finally, we have knowledge, which just has some general knowledge on what we do, style, which has the style on how you want to speak, and handover reasons, which are reasons when you want the AI to stop talking and hand it over to you. So for example, in this case, if the lead repeatedly speaks nonsense, if they're rude or insulting, or if the lead is already an existing client, we want to hand it over. Now, you can customize this in whatever way you want, and I'm going to show you how you can test the AI before actually taking it live in a second. Now, once you've adjusted all of this, all that's left to do is integrating it into Manychat, and then we can start running some tests before we take it live. For this, simply go to the main webhook. You can name it whatever you want. So in this case, I have setter voice memo scraping as the production URL. You can adjust the URL to whatever you want. So I'm going to name it setter YouTube 22nd January. I'm going to click on production URL and copy out this URL right here. We're going to close this, click on save, and click on active. This is going to turn on the flow so that we can actively receive requests to the URL that we just generated. We're now going to go back into Manychat, automations, go to imported from AI sales system, and here we're going to find the AI flow YouTube video template. We're going to click on edit. We're going to go to the n8n flow node at the very back, click on this, click on external request. Here we're going to delete the URL that's currently there. Make sure you delete it entirely because Manychat's a little bit buggy sometimes, and then paste in the URL that you just copied. We're then going to click on save and click on update. We now have our AI appointment setter integrated into this Manychat flow, and if we send a message containing ABCDE to the Instagram account, it's actually going to go ahead and process the reply. Now, there's one more thing we need to do to test this because the flow currently only works for people who have the tag AI active. So in order to actually set that up, you can either manually add the tag to a contact, or you can make a flow called new contacts only. I'm going to recreate this from scratch. So you would click on new automation, start from scratch, start with a blank. Here you would add the trigger, go to contact events and click on new contact created. Click on save. And now when a new contact is created, we want to do an action. And that action is going to be to add a tag, which is going to be AI active. All you need to do is click on set live, and it's going to take this automation live, and you can name it new contacts only, meaning this will only activate for new contacts, and any new contact will have the tag AI active. Now, when we send a message, we're going to automatically add the tag because there's a new contact inside of Manychat. So let's go ahead and test this out now. Before you do test it out, make sure you've deleted your contact from Manychat so that the whole new contact thing actually applies. To test it, all we need to do is go into Instagram, find the Instagram account that we've connected to Manychat, and message it something starting with ABCDE. We're going to say, hey, how are you doing? We're going to send that message. If we go into Manychat, we can now see the message arrived here. We added the tag AI active because it's a new contact, and it's now going through the motions. Now let's go into n8n, and if we click to executions, we can see that there's currently an execution running, which is the message that we just sent. The execution has now succeeded, and as we can see, it went in, it actually checked, the details aren't present yet, It scraped the profile, meaning it got all information about me from my Instagram profile. We sent that information to an OpenAI node where it analyzed the information that we received and put it into variables. We then saved those into Manychat. We checked if it's an ICP match, and we went ahead and added the ICP tag, and we then responded to the message. As you can see right here, there's an M- in this message, but the code node that we have over here removes that M- and gives us the message without any unique AI formatting, and we then sent the message to Manychat, which was received on Instagram as well. Now, in order to continue testing this conversation, all I would have to do is add ABCDE in front of every single message that I send, and now I'd respond that here. My focus is making the best AI sales systems on the planet. Send that message. As we can see, it's now received again inside of Manychat. And if we go back to n8n and click on executions, where all we need to do is wait a second and it's going to pop up right here. As we can see, it's now running, meaning the message is being processed. And if we go into Instagram, we can see the reply is already received and it asks me the next question according to the script. Now, based on what I'm seeing in this conversation right here, I would go back into the n8n flow, go to my editor, and go to the prompt values, and if I want to change any behavior, I would mainly adjust the response plan instructions, the rules, or the style. And this will change the behavior of the AI in real time so that it actually behaves in the way you want it. So this is going to be a continuous process where you run through a couple tests and you adjust the n8n prompt values to reflect what you want to see. Now, in order for me to restart this test and start the conversation from scratch, all I need to do is go into Manychat, go to the conversation, click here, click on delete contact, type delete, and it's going to reset the entire convo. And now I can come back in and restart the whole thing, and it's going to be a fresh conversation from here on out. Now, before I give you the final step for taking this live for all people inside of your Instagram DMs, any new contact to be handled by AI, let's quickly talk about DM Tracker. DM Tracker is a CRM built for Instagram specifically that allows you to track reply rates to your outreach, allows you to track every single conversation and split test different openers, as well as see who you need to follow up with over time so that you can actually be on top of everybody inside of your Instagram DMs. The way it's done is using a follow-up board, meaning it shows you exactly who you need to follow up with after certain timeframes, and you can custom configure these in any way you want. Now, DM Tracker has a free 14-day trial. I'm going to put that in the link down below in the description, along with a separate video where I explain exactly how to use DM Tracker. And this is basically going to give you visibility into what's happening inside of your Instagram DMs, especially when you have an AI setter. You're going to be able to see exactly who dropped off in the conversation and who you need to follow up with over time. Now, the separate video in the description is going to do more explaining than I can possibly do in this video, but the only thing to make sure that I'm going to mention here is that if you sign up to DM Tracker and you complete the onboarding, you need to go into the DM Tracker nodes, click here, and make sure the authentication token and the organization ID are without a timestamp. So if we go ahead and remove this, click here and go to authentication token, if you're seeing a timestamp, remove that and replace it with the proper one without a timestamp. The same thing applies for the organization ID. So if you had one with a timestamp, you would simply go in here, search for organization ID, and select the one without the timestamp. You need to do this for all DM Tracker nodes, including the one inside of your onboarding process. Now, before I show you one final test using voice memos as well as the human handover functionality, let's enable this for all contacts. And all we need to do for that is go to settings, go to Instagram, and where it says default replies, select an existing flow, find the flow that we just configured, click on pick this automation, click on the flow right here, and inside of here, make sure the default reply is turned on and make sure it's set to every time. So this is now going to trigger it for every message. Now, these waiting nodes in the middle is how long you're going to wait after they send a message to see if they send a second message. So you may want to adjust this to 90 seconds if you're going live in production. For testing, you can make it as low as even 10 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and click on update, and boom, this is now live for any new contact inside of our Instagram DMs. Now let's run a final test. I'm going to go ahead and send a voice memo. I'm going to say, hey, I'm doing good as well. I'm focused on building the business and building the best AI sales solutions for businesses on Instagram in 2026. I'm going to go ahead and send this voice memo. And if we go to Manychat, go to live chat, and go to the conversation, we can see that this is saved as a link. And the n8n flow is going to process this accordingly. So if we go back into n8n, go to executions, we can see that it's now popped up here and it's running. So we're going to wait for this to process. And as we can see, because a voice memo was contained, we transcribed the voice memo. Hey, I'm doing good as well. I'm focused on building the business and building the best AI sales solutions for businesses on Instagram in 2026. It took that, gave it to the AI setter. It responded to the message. And if we go to Instagram, we receive the reply. Now, if we go ahead and say F you, it should hand over the conversation to a human, because inside of the prompt values, if we scroll down to the handover reasons, we specified that we want to hand it over if the lead is rude or insulting. Now, as we can see, it ran through and it completed extremely quickly because it went through all these steps and it triggered the pause conversation. The AI setter output pause conversation. Based on this, we removed the AI active tag and we added the human handover tag. So if we go back to Manychat, we can see tag removed, AI active, tag added, human handover. And if we refresh the page, it's also going to reflect on the right-hand side. The human handover tag is now added. You're going to be able to filter by these conversations by going to Conversations, All, clicking on the filter, and adding a condition for the tag is human handover. Click on Apply, and you're going to see all conversations that were handed over to you. And with that being said, you now have everything you need to build an AI appointment setter for your Instagram DMs. And if you're a business owner and you want someone who's done this over 100 times for high-ticket coaches and consultants on Instagram, and you want us to implement this inside of your business for you, I'll put a link down below in the description. Simply go to omnifusion.ai, schedule in a call with my business partner. We're going to take a look at your situation, see if we can even help you and if it makes sense to work together. And if it does, we're going to be able to build all of this that I've shown you in this video with even more advanced configurations, as well as tracking and tons of additional bonuses that are going to help you make more money from your Instagram DMs. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future.